Hi Homeworthy, I'm Lexi, this is Penny, and welcome to my home in Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Allison Kenworthy, the founder of Homeworthy, and we're now offering a membership plan that gives our supporters early and exclusive access to new videos.
Hi, Homeworthy.
I'm Roz.
You're here at my home in Los Angeles?
Come on in. I can't wait to show you around.
With this membership, we invite you to open more doors, discovering new homes, rooms, and personalities available only to those with the keys to our guest house. You'll be part of a community of people who are just as passionate as you are about interior design. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi, I'm Alexia Ioannou, shoe designer and vintage curator. Welcome to my 1930s apartment in Los Angeles. I am the founder and creator of New, which originally started as a vintage studio where I mostly curated vintage designer shoes and later on expanded into clothing and then homeware. And now I'm actually designing and creating my own shoes in Portugal. This is a 1932 Spanish Revival duplex. I live on the top floor and I'm very close friends with the person that lives on the bottom floor, so I like to say we're a modern family. And when I came across the listing, it was sitting on the market for months on Zillow and it was a self-showing property, so I think a lot of people were deterred by that fact, and also the pictures were not that great. And then I came to see it and it just kept going and going. You'll see that the space is very expansive, way bigger than you would think. And the bones are so good. They kept a lot of the integrity of the original structure, but they updated all of the things that really needed more love in such a way that doesn't feel like the apartment has been modernized really at all. I saw a lot of potential with the color of the walls and, you know, the arched doorways, and I thought, what were ways that I could just add little surface level details to this space that could kind of make it feel more cohesive. You know, the walls were a bit of a struggle at first. They have this kind of random green tint to them, which is not necessarily ideal when you're pairing furnishing with a green wall. When I first got this pink couch, I was so set on having a pink couch, and then the pink couch with the green wall, I was really struggling for a while. I switched the carpet multiple times. It was a whole debacle on TikTok where everyone was giving their opinions about the carpet and the couch and the walls. But I feel really good about where we are now with the space, and I feel like it's grounded and the green kind of brings an air to it that was really necessary. Welcome to my living room. As you can see, what I was talking about the arches, the arches are my favorite part of the architecture here, but especially the windows. They just bring in so much light, and I love how they can open and they're very interactive. Penny loves laying in the sun all day with archways. And then there's also random details like this arch, which I never really know what to do with it, so I just put a giant candle in it, but it's fun. I'm always discovering and exploring new parts of this house that I didn't even realize were there. These chairs are my newest obsession. I just got them. They're 1950s slipper chairs, and they're reupholstered in this amazing block print fabric that I think is from the 70s. It's perfectly worn in. They're so comfortable and cozy, and I feel like they brought the perfect amount of boho into the space, because before it was kind of feeling, you know, a bit Victorian, and you'll see things like that lamp. I'm obsessed with that lamp with the fringes on it. That is a 1920s, 1930s era fringe lamp, which kind of speaks to the greater architecture of the home. But personally, like, I can't go all in on that era, so I like to incorporate things from different time periods and different feelings. So this is very boho, and these were an investment, and I love them so much, and I reimagine them in every home that I have to come. I really am obsessed with them. If you sit on them, you just don't want to get up. This lamp I thrifted for $6. You're probably going to get mad at a lot of the prices that I call out in this apartment because I am a thrift queen. I love antiquing, thrift stores, you name it, I'm there. No matter the city I visit, the city I live in, I go thrifting at least once a week, and I'm always bringing home new treasures either for my wardrobe or for my house. So I love this lamp. It has all these detailings of like flowers and a tree and birds, and I just love things that tell a story. And this is a vintage hot plate. You would like put this on your dining table or in your kitchen if you were like bringing something out of the oven, but I like to incorporate it on this vintage stool to kind of add more layers to the story and bring in more color. I just recently got this dog in a puddle. I think it's called dog in a puddle photo. It is very famous, as I've learned. I bought this at an estate sale just last weekend in Beverly Hills. The owners of the home were fabulous. The wife was a fabulous woman. I bought a ton of stuff from her wardrobe, but she was a designer for Christian Dior. So you can only imagine some of the stuff that I got. But I also bought this. My boyfriend and I both saw it at different times in the estate sale, and we both came to each other. We were like, should we get the sad dog picture? And we love it. And then this is just another thing that I thrifted. I like finding interesting ways to hold all of the ugly things that you keep in your living room, like wires and remotes. And this is the perfect little thing to add to the fireplace where you can hold all that stuff. The tile on the fireplace is original to the build of the home. I'm pretty positive the home was built in 1932. So you'll see certain elements throughout the home that are exactly the same, and then certain things that are, remodeled. But wait till you see the bathroom, that's all original too. But yes, this is amazing and really speaks to the Spanish Revival element in the architecture. It's gas now though, it's not wood fire burning anymore, which way more practical for me. I thrifted this coffee table for $80. I knew that I needed something big and substantial in this space to kind of carry the space, because as you can see, it's a very wide space and it's kind of hard to fill each area of the room without it feeling detached. So I like how large it is and kind of bulky it is and weighted it is. It's so heavy. Like, I know it's of good quality because it's unbelievably heavy. The only reference I can find of this table, it might have been custom, I'm not sure, but when I reverse Google image search it, I found an image of it in an estate sale last May here in Los Angeles. So my assumption is it didn't sell at the estate sale, so it ended up at the local thrift, and then I brought it home. And then as for what's on the table, I'm really working on being a less cluttered person. So this is very open for me. My mom came over to kind of help me with styling, and she's always like, you have a problem. Like, you have too much stuff everywhere. So let's minimize and organize. So this to me feels very organized. You'll see a collection of new and vintage books of some of my favorite artists. I love this one. I'm very inspired by everything Japanese, Chinese. So I like to keep this open because it kind of tells a story of like the colors in the room too. And then you'll see a plate of crystals because no bad vibes allowed here. And I thrifted these amazing candlestick holders at a flea market in Portugal a few months ago for maybe €5. The man that I bought them from was so sweet, and I'll treasure these forever. Something so simple can still be so meaningful. This catch-all is from Claude Home. I love everything at Claude Home. I wish that I could furnish my whole apartment with them, maybe one day my house, but right now that's all I have from Claude Home. More crystals for sure. This amazing couch is from my friends at Lulu in Georgia. They so graciously worked with me to customize this couch. I was just set on having a pink couch, so here she is. I love her so much, and I basically reworked the entire living room for this couch. Before I had the couch, the room looked completely different, and this feels more me, and I couldn't be happier with how it all turned out. Plus it's super comfortable too, which is hard to find with a couch that's stylistically beautiful. And then I just layered it with some pillows. Gotta have leopard, Jersey leopard. I'm a Jersey girl after all. And then the painting behind me is vintage as well. I bought it from my friend's store here in LA. It's called Little House LA. She has amazing vintage new treasures if you ever need to pick up a little gift or even something substantial for your home. She bought this at Round Top in Texas, which is a massive antique market that happens a few times a year. I don't know much about the artist, but I do know it's signed, and to me that feels more intimate. I do know it's from the 1970s, but I love the colors in it. The scalloped frame is very worn in, as you can see, but I love that. I feel like it's part of the story. If it were perfect, I probably wouldn't be as interested in it. Then these vessels, like I said, different eras, different parts of the world. This is a Murano vessel from Italy. I love Murano. It's one of my favorite things. And then this is a vintage Chinese vessel. I like how they go together, but they probably want it in other spaces, but I feel like the way that we marry them here is really cool. This 1960s record player was one of the first pieces that I got for this house. I was so excited about it. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $250. It's in complete working condition. I'm obsessed with it. I always wanted to curate records, and I feel like this one is just so different than anything else I've ever seen. These are the speakers, so you can kind of open it up when you're listening and then close it when you're not, and it just looks like a credenza. I have September Vogues on here because I was just featured in the magazine, so I'm having my moment. It's obviously every girl's dream to be in Vogue, so I feel so honored to be featured in the September issue. They featured me in new, specifically the homewares that I curate and sell on my website. So it says new for you, and it was just talking about an upcoming collaboration that we did, and as well as me designing shoes in Portugal. This I thrifted for like $10, and I really like the shadow box framing. That's an expensive thing to do on your own, so anytime I'm looking for art at the thrift store, I kind of look for something that I know somebody put a lot of time and effort into. So this is shadow box, and it has a linen background, and I love the fans, and I just feel like whoever had this in their home before really adored it, and I'm happy to continue the story. I've been a longtime lover of all things beautiful. I joke that I come from a long history of high-end hoarders. My grandma is an amazing collector and talented jewelry designer. My mom is also an interior designer and an avid collector. And then here I am, third generation, following the same footsteps. My decorating style is all over the place. Like I said, I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I like to collect things from all different eras, all different parts of the world. I like to think it feels cohesive because it feels very me, but as we walk around, you'll see that there's things from all different histories, and to me, I just like something that speaks to me when I discover it, and if it makes me feel something, I bring it home and I find a place for it. This is the dining room. One of my favorite things in our house is this mid-century hutch that I also found on Facebook Marketplace for a few $100s. It was in perfect condition. It lived in one home before me, and once again, happy to give it new life. Everything in here are pieces that I've collected from all over the world on my travels, or things that I've sourced and I'm selling on new for new home. I mean, I have lots of interesting treasures in here, but just to show you, this one I find so funny. It's a large martini glass. I love to serve olives in this because obviously I think drinking out of this would be a lot. But like, look at her body and her boobs. I love it. You'll see throughout my space, I have so much appreciation for the female form. It's what inspires me most as somebody that makes shoes. I love women feeling good and sexy and accentuating the body. So I love to collect little motifs of naked ladies. The rug is just like a simple jute rug. In any space I've ever been in, I always include jute because it adds so much texture and depth to the room. And you could get a massive rug like this for a really cheap price. I think I spent maybe $200, $300 on this rug, and it's huge. I think it's about 9 by 13. It's kind of really hard to find a rug of that size at that price point. So I brought it into this room to kind of just bring it all together. The table was a random but amazing find. It's so heavy. It's from CB2. One day I just walked into CB2 and this was on the floor as a floor model for sale. It was actually used as the employee's desk at the space. So it was in great condition. They never actually even sold this model. So I feel really lucky to have it, and I know I'll have it for years to come. The chairs are 1970s tubular chairs. They're so fun. I think they add more of a, mid-century touch to a space that can often feel all over the place. So this room is very mid-century with the hutch and the chairs. This massive bowl is one of my favorite things in the house. As I mentioned, I love Murano, and I thrifted this Murano bowl for a really, really, really cheap price. I think it was like $15 at the thrift. Like, people just don't know what they're getting rid of, but don't worry, I know what you're getting rid of, and I will bring it home with me. This light fixture is original to this space. If I had to guess, it's probably from like the 1950s. It's really beautiful. It almost feels like a sculptural element to the room, and these are the kinds of things that make me so grateful to live in a home that has been around for so long. This piece I bought from a vintage store in LA, and I was told that the woman that owned it was like an OG Hollywood producer. So she sold her entire estate to this other woman, and from what I understood, she was an avid collector of all things that made her feel something similar to me. So I felt instantly connected to it. And from my research, I think this is a Filipino dance tradition. And it looks like it's some sort of linen and silk scarf blend that's been framed. So I think I bought this for $120. When it comes to finding big art to fill your walls, I always am thrifting or buying vintage because art can be really expensive, and a lot of the art in my house luckily is big and vintage and thrifted. This is a Chinese vessel. I also thrifted this for maybe like $15, $20, and I'll never forget when I put it in my cart. Anytime I stepped away from my cart, people were like lingering, and I had to like flee them off. I'm like, it's mine, it's my cart, because it really is such a special piece with the gold, detailing. And if you get up close, it's like it's hand painted. It's so special. These go for hundreds of dollars on the market. So once again, hit your local thrift store on the regular, because you never know what you're gonna find. This is probably one of my most favorite pieces of art that I have in my entire house. I bought this on Facebook Marketplace. It was around $500. It came framed, but I would like to reframe it. But to me, the storytelling is so different. And if you look, there's a bunch of naked ladies, and that's kind of my thing. But the closer I looked at it, because I was trying to understand, what is this? And my consensus was, I think somebody used a tattoo on it for trial, which makes it even more interesting, because it's literally needled into the canvas, and the seller told me it was from the 1960s. It is signed, but if you get super close, it's really unlike anything I've ever seen. It's certainly not painted. The kitchen is one of the spaces in the home that was renovated, but in the 1950s. So it's not original to the 1930s. It's certainly still very old and full of lots of character. One of my favorite things is the fact that it has this yellow tile with this black trim and this, squiggly black and yellow trim. These are the kind of things that people just don't put in their homes anymore and don't lean into because there may be too much of a statement. But I love it. I can't imagine it being white and sterile. That would just freak me out. They did paint the walls yellow as well, which is very yellow, but I like it. I lean into it. So a lot of the details in here are from the 1950s renovation. You can tell by the cabinets and the floors. I always love to have baskets of fresh fruits and veggies and what I'm cooking for the week. It really motivates me to stay healthy, because if I look at it and it's going bad, I have to cook it. This is the original stove from the house too. I think it's from around the 1950s. I mean, it's magnificent. Most people that come over are just in awe over the stove. It's fully functioning. It has so many different gadgets, and you can pull out the drawers, and like when you open this up, you can see that it had instructions for how to cook certain things in this oven. It's a gas oven that is constantly running, so it's always warm. The pilot is always on. It's really interesting. There's just all these fun quirks, like instructions. Like, I think every oven should come with instructions, you know? I love that it has this ledge and it has the timer. The timer doesn't work anymore, but it's okay. But back in the day, I'm sure that was epic. And then here's kind of where you would strike the matches to light the pilot. But now my pilot is always running. I guess that's an update. Don't look at the fridge, it's ugly. They didn't update the fridge or the dishwasher. If I owned this place, I probably would, but you know, it's fine, it works. This is another area of just storytelling. My mom always tells me every corner should have a story and a moment and layers of things that tell the story. So this is kind of our kitchen story of cookbooks, and this is from my friend Lazy Jamie. It's a lemon squeezer. So you put the lemon in and you do the thing when people are over for cocktails. It's really fun. And then my friend gifted me these, and I'm obsessed with them. They're from Cosa Ceramica, a ceramicist in LA, and they say Chateau Chicken, which my Instagram name is Boho Chicken. So these are really fun. I love to have my coffee in them every day. And then just an assortment of collected vintage Italian wine decanter that I thrifted, and some glasses that were a friend. These are super fun from a friend. These are super fun for like an ice cream scoop. This set is 1980s. I love the seats, how they are fabricated. It just speaks to the rest of the kitchen, how it has that yellow element but a bit of red. And it's very 80s with this smoky glass top, but it works because it plays into the floors. And eventually I could picture myself, you know, getting a built-in dinette, but this is perfect for now. Throughout the house, there's all these little nooks and crannies that, you know, are very useful sometimes. And I love a mirror. We all like to look at ourselves. When people are over, I'm always checking some things in my teeth. But then if you open this up, it holds all of my seasonings. So it's quite perfect. And then this light fixture is also original. Whenever friends and family come to my space, they're always envious because it just feels like a home. And I think that's something that, you know, doesn't even have a lot to do with me. It has to do with the architecture of the space and how it's been here for almost 100 years. It's so well lived in. And like I said, it's been restored to perfection. We have all the amenities that you could want. We have central air, we have washer dryer, a lot of these things that you miss out on in LA when you move into a space of this age. So I think that the wear and tear in the history of this space is really felt the moment you walk in. Next, we're gonna head into the bathroom, which is everybody's favorite. So the bathroom is everyone's favorite for obvious reasons. This color of tile is just so special and memorable. This is original to the build of the home from the 1930s. So you can see light cracking throughout the floor, but I don't mind it. A lot of it is really in still amazing shape. One of my favorite things is the bathtub moment. This little swan family, I'm like, what does it mean? I like it, but I would love to know like the spiritual meaning. I like to think it means family because it's like two adult swans and a baby flying. Like, I don't know, I love it. It tells some kind of story I want to know more about. And then once again, arched way. I love it. It's also in the shower, the archway. And then there's just little updates like changing the knobs on the drawers that kind of continue to tell the story of the green. And once again, we have a mirror with storage behind it. And I love these little details all along the mirror, and the light is original too. So I thrifted a few pieces from this artist at the thrift store one day for like $2 each. There's also one on the mantle in the living room, and I thought she paired perfectly for the bathroom. We love a nude lady. And then we just have another Chinese vessel with some florals. This is where I keep all my perfumes. I love these like evil eye plates from L'Objet. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I'm an evil eye girly, I'm Greek. You'll see that in my office, protection everywhere. Here we have a picture of me when I was a little girl. I learned a while ago that when you're trying to be kinder to yourself, just speak to the little Lexi in you. So I found this picture when I was going through some things recently, and when I was younger I was like having chronic bladder issues, and this was me at the hospital actually. But as you can see, I'm so happy, and I'm wearing a certificate. I'm holding a certificate of bravery. So every day I look at little Lexi and remember how brave she is. My favorite thing about my home is it feels like me. It is very layered and vintage, and I love places that I walk into and I know that they have a story. I can't ever imagine moving into a new build. So this space really feels like me, and I don't see myself leaving here anytime soon until I can buy a house that is like a dream home, because right now I feel like I'm in my dream apartment. Moving on from the bathroom is my home office. So you come in here, this is where the real magic happens, where I do all of my designing and all of my desk work. You'll see a few sneak peek styles that are coming out in a few months from new, and also my vision boards and how I stay organized in terms of by month and what's arriving and materials and, you know, all of the fun stuff. So if you take a look around, this room really probably is the most me. Everything in here is important to me, whether it be symbolic or literal, because it has to do with my work. So I spend most of my time in this room. I went antiquing in Provence 2 summers ago, which overall inspired me to develop New Home and to start bringing people vintage homeware through the brand. So I went antiquing. I could only bring back so much with me, and I was so stubborn about bringing back these 2 art pieces because I got shipping quotes and they were stupid expensive, so I carried them on the plane with me. I love them. I feel like they, although were not very expensive, to me they hold so much value because they're hand painted and they both feel like both versions of me. Once again, the naked lady and then the feminine floral. They're both signed, and I really love them so much. Here you'll see from the same brand an evil eye looking over my office because no negativity allowed in here. And then we have some new shoes that recently came out. These are they're very worn. This is my sample. I test them to death. But we just released these, our classic black mule with a gemstone that is from Italy, and the shoes are made in Portugal. This is by an amazing artist. Her name is Sasha December. When I first started New, I saved up and I wanted to buy myself a real piece of art. Kind of on the cusp of what made me start this business was I was going through a lot personally and I was feeling really down. And when I came across her, once I was feeling better, I was like, she's my sadness. She's sad Lexi, and I always have to honor her and respect her because she got me to where I am today. She brought me so much clarity, and I will always love her. This here is my little mood board and inspiration shelf. You'll find books that I reference a lot, whether for spiritual or design purposes. These are kind of all the things that I'm referencing today that keep me inspired. The shelf is layered with pictures of me and my boyfriend, and any city I go in, because I love chickens, boho chicken, I always bring home a chicken. So I think this one's from Portugal, and this one is from France, and this one's from Hawaii. These are vintage clip-on earrings. So I've been playing around with the idea of clip-on jewels for the shoes. As you can see with the mule, the gem comes on it, but it got me thinking about possibly just putting different clips on our classic styles, like the mule without the gem. So right now I'm concepting and ideating detachable shoe clips. Both the vase and the lamp are Murano or Murano inspired pieces because Murano is my favorite. And then we just have little like spiritual objects, like this glass hand-painted frog that my mom got me. And then these are the shoes that are coming out this fall. So lucky you, sneak peek. I think what makes a home have soul and come alive is living things. You'll see that I have different kinds of trees and plants, and my dog Penny, we're always fostering animals and, you know, inviting new life into our apartment, hosting people. I just think breath and life and living things are what make a home have soul. Now let's head into the bedroom. Before you enter my bedroom, this is a note that my dad gave me when I moved to California. He's not a very emotional guy, so this meant a lot to me. He slipped it in my bag, and he's just talking about how he remembers picking me up from school when I was a little girl and how excited he would be, and he is so proud of me for following my dreams and moving across the country despite leaving him. So that is really, really meaningful to me. I look at it every day when I wake up. Now we're entering the bedroom. This rug was originally in the living room. I bought this for the living room, and then it didn't go with the green walls. And then TikTok just, you know, blew up, and they all had strong opinions about this rug. I just couldn't handle it anymore. The rug is so beautiful, and it belongs in the bedroom. Please don't tell me it belongs in the living room, because it makes me spiral. Everything is where it needs to be now. So anyway, I love this rug so much. I was walking around Los Angeles, and I walked by a store called Rugs and Art, and there was a delightful Persian man in there with tons of amazing antique rugs. This is a 1960s Persian rug, and it was priced at an astronomical price that was so far out of my budget. And then I was haggling with him. I was doing this whole thing, and I was like, listen, I want to make sure you feel good about this, but I can't afford it. And he was like, you know what? I dated a girl that looked like you, and she was really beautiful and pleasant. So he gave it to me for what price I wanted. So that is just the value of connection and connecting with somebody and making them feel good and remembering good memories. You'll get the rug at the price you want. He originally had it priced at $9,000, which I didn't pay anywhere near that. So this rug really fills out the room in a very beautiful way. It makes it feel connected, which I think is important for a bedroom. And the art above the bed is by my amazing, talented friend. She's an artist. Her name is Anna Ullman. I got these pieces for when I had my studio outside of the house first, and they lived in there, and now they live above my bed. They are pink and silver, and they have these amazing like splatter prints, and they're great. She's super talented. You should definitely look her up. The bed is one of the very few things in the house that is actually not vintage. It's from Article. It's massive, but I love it. It's cozy. I want to jump in this bed every day. It makes me feel so warm. I love it. The bedside table lamps, I thrifted this pair of lamps from the Melrose Flea Market for $25 for the set. So follow your dreams. If you come over here, this dresser has followed me for like 10 years. It's one of the first furniture pieces I ever had. I also bought this at the flea market for just a few $100s. I like that it adds warmth to the space no matter which room. I've had it in living rooms, office, and now a bedroom, and it just works. Some pieces just find their way and they work. Because I do share this bedroom with my boyfriend, I like to have little manifestation and love things all around. So we have magic lovebirds, and then we have this couple playing chess together. This is a hand-drawn piece that I got in Mallorca, and the artist was amazing, and he told me it was about a couple that fell in love. So love that to be part of our story. And then, you know, I have some crystals and things like that. Before I let you guys out, I'll show you the hallway. This is also a collection of some of the most memorable things that I have in my life. You know, unfortunately, we had a lot of wildfires in LA, and I had to evacuate at one point, and most of the things I took were from this area. There's photos of my parents when they were together when I was little, and My boyfriend and I actually met in Mexico at a nightclub, and we had the foresight to take a picture together on his whiskey bottle. So it's, not in great shape anymore, but this is probably one of my most prized things that I have. So everything is kind of on display, pictures of him and his family. Around my house I have rosaries that my grandma has collected or either made for me, and they're either hanging on doors or in this case in this dish. My mom made this beautiful Mother Mary for me that has, gemstones on it that she glued on herself. This piece is one of the most interesting pieces I like to think that I have. I sourced this in Santa Ynez in an antique store that was going out of business. And the moment I saw her, she just spoke to me. There was something about her that I felt like she knew things and that she was magical. And this was from an artist in the 1970s that did Native American portraits. So the frame came with it, and she's really something else. She's so beautiful. The rug is really beautiful. It's 1960s antique rug. This rug was more money than I would like to admit. And it's also Penny's favorite place to have accidents. So that's life's lesson. When you pay a lot of money and you're too attached to something comes in the way, like Penny using it when she feels like it. The light fixture that was here was really ugly. It was kind of like, what do they call it, a boob? It was a boob. So my friends at Tulip sent me this amazing renter-friendly option that you kind of just stick it on the ceiling. And I love how they do these collaborations with artists, and it's like this whimsical story of all these drawings, and I feel like it just fits my space perfectly. So in here is what people like to call their Rob list. It is my archive of vintage designer shoes. One day I would like to have a much bigger closet, but this is what I have for now. So this is just some of the shoes, but if you take a look, this is my kryptonite. Well, they say it's very hard to choose your favorite child, and that's how I feel. But obviously, I would say that my most favorite pair is our first ever new shoe that sold out, was limited edition, and is the first thing I ever made. So this is my dream shoe. This is the first sample, and truly priceless to me. But in terms of designer and vintage designer, I mean, we have classic Chanel Ladybug shoes, which is a cult favorite. Then we have some Pucci moments, lots of Manolos. There's pieces in here that feel more like artwork. If you look at these vintage Valentinos with the snake, these are pretty crazy. Yes, I have them in 2 colors because everybody needs these in 2 colors, right? These Puccis are pretty insane. They're really, I found them super cheap on the RealReal, maybe $80, and then I restored them. So look at all the diamonds on the inside. They're really special. So when it comes to restoring shoes, if there's a will, there's a way. Unless it has leather rot, I've learned the hard time that you can't restore those shoes. But you just need an amazing cobbler that knows what he's doing. If you're in LA, I always have used Arturo's in West Hollywood. He's amazing, and I brought these to him, and he was able to fix the straps, replace studs that were missing, etc. The word home means to me peace. I want to come to my space and feel peaceful, well rested. This space is also my working space. You'll see my office is here, my studio where I design everything, and I ship everything out of our garage as well. So I need to be here, and I need to feel clear and peaceful, and that to me is home. There's no better feeling than slipping into my bed at the end of the day. Homeworthy, thanks for coming by, but I have some shoes to design. Bye, Homeworthy.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.